Welcome to Weekly Water Safety with Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation Aquatics Unit. I am Theresa, and I am one of the Aquatics Recreation Specialists. This week's lesson is beach, sand, and rip current safety. Beaches are fun to go to, but they can be dangerous. So let's learn about the dangers and ways we can protect ourselves. We'll start with information on surf beach safety. Does anyone know what a surf beach is? Beaches with breaking waves are called surf beaches. Surf beaches can be fun, but even in a designated swimming area, waves can be quite large. Breaking waves are very powerful and are capable of moving large objects. Waves can be strong enough to knock you over. To stay safe at a surf beach, learn how to swim well. Get instructions about swimming at a surf beach from a lifeguard or swim instructor who has experience at surf beaches. Never swim alone. Always swim at a beach protected by lifeguards. Check the lifeguards before entering the water to learn about the current conditions. Obey all instructions and orders from the lifeguards. Sometimes lifeguards will post signs or flags. Learn what the signs and flags mean before you enter the water. Now that we learned about some of the dangers in the water, let's move on to some of the dangers on the beach. Let's think about some of those dangers. Well, we have blowing sand and sun. Those could hurt our eyes. So how could we protect our eyes from the blowing sand and the sun? Sunglasses. Now, what do you do if you get sand in your eyes? Well, try not to touch them, try not to rub them, tell an adult or your parents, and then get them rinsed out with fresh water. Try not to go back into the water because the water has particles in them. Now, what's another danger in on the sand? Well, the sand gets really hot to a good 150 degrees. So, we want to protect our feet. Well, make sure you put sunscreen on them, but you can also put on flip-flops and water shoes. So now let's move on to digging in the sand. That's my favorite. I love to dig in the sand, but there are dangers in digging in the sand too. Well, if you dig your sand in the hole in too deep, the sand can fall in on you and bury you. That can be very scary. So let's keep you safe. Dig your hole no deeper than your knee. And then when you're done with the hole, fill it in, pat it down to make sure that nobody walks by and trips and hurts themselves in the sand. Now, when you're done with the sand, make sure you wash your hands for a good 20 seconds with soap and water. Now, another concern at the beach are rip currents. So we will move on to a video about rip current safety. One main hazard at a surf beach is a rip current. Rip currents are powerful currents of water flowing away from the shore, and they move straight out to sea beyond the breaking waves. Rip currents can occur at any beach with breaking waves or surf, including the Great Lakes. There are clues to look for to let you know that the rip currents are present. A narrow strip of choppy water, an area where the watercolor is clearly different, and a line of foam, seaweed, or debris that steadily moves out to sea. It is difficult for most people to be able to tell if rip currents are present, and the clues are very hard to identify. Do not assume that if you do not see one or more of the clues that there are no rip currents. Now, the swimmers who are caught in a rip current cannot make any progress as they try to swim to shore, and they sometimes panic, which may cause the problem to get even worse. Now, what could you do if you get caught in a rip current? Don't panic. Swim along the shore until you are out of the current. Then turn and swim toward the shore. If you can't escape the current, float or tread water. And if you're too tired to swim, face the shore and wave your arms or call for help. Do you think swimming at a beach with breaking waves that is protected by lifeguards is safer than swimming at a beach that is not protected by lifeguards? Why or why not? Yes, swimming at a beach with breaking waves is safer with lifeguards. Lifeguards warn patrons of any unusual or hazardous conditions, and lifeguards can also help you if you need assistance. So let's review on everything you learned today. Pay attention to beach conditions and ask lifeguards about concerns about the beach. Listen to the lifeguards. If you get into trouble in the water, don't panic. Float, tread water, or call out for help. Protect your eyes and your feet from the sun and the sand, and wash your hands after playing in the sand. Thank you for joining us for this week for the beach, sand, and rip current safety. Please join us next week for the weekly water safety lesson, and have a great week.